Tell me when, Ron. But say 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon. Welcome to Foys on Facebook. I am Gina.
I'm Jerry.
I apologize. We had some technical difficulties today. We're a little stressed.
Yeah.
But it's going to be okay. So our show today is on...
A whole bunch of stuff.
Yep.
I got a whole page full.
The adenovirus.
Okay.
Right? I forgot. But we wanted to open up with a few announcements. First, I want to remind all my Baltimore customers and friends, don't forget to tune in to the Steelers preseason game tonight. It's at 7:30. I'll be watching, and I know you will be too.
Had to get that in, didn't you? You know, whatever his name is.
I sure did.
We'll hear from him.
So,
okay.
Anyways, I'm going to announce the winners for the auction. The Serbian High Flyers is Surrender Singh. Surrender, please call me after the show, probably about 4:15, 4:30, so you can make a payment on the birds. That's $150 plus the shipping, depending where you live. Then I'll tell you how much the shipping's going to be. As we all know, the shipping price has increased a lot. So,
we have found a way by cutting the boxes down to reduce the jolt of the huge raise.
Yes.
So, not as bad as it was.
Right. Also, the winner for the homers is Abdullah for $250. Once again, Abdullah, call me Gina after the show, and so you can get the birds paid for, and then they will ship next Tuesday. And Jerry calls you.
And I remind you, if you're going to pay for them right away, because I'm going on vacation. So if I don't ship them next Tuesday, by the way, I'm going to miss the show. If I don't ship them next Tuesday, you won't get them until for 3 weeks. So you've got to get your payment in, and I'll ship them out on Tuesday. Okay?
Yep. So make sure you give me a call. We'll get them paid for and move on with that. So you won't be here for the next show?
Let's just get on with this.
That's
unprofessional.
Okay, one more announcement before we get on to the show. We have a container coming in next week from Taiwan. It's one we've been waiting on for a while. We have the 8-compartment breeder units coming in, which is number 1600. And also the ultimate nest boxes. We've been out of those for quite a while. That's number 2084. So those will be in. We have a lot. If you want to order them for the shows, we can bring them with us. They're a little bit expensive to ship. So we start taking pre-orders for Louisville at the beginning of October. So if you want to order those, give us a call.
What about the Fremont show? You don't take pre-orders?
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Fremont show's in September.
Right.
See, that comes just before October.
Does it? I didn't know that. Anyways. Also, the mini drinkers will be in. The little blue ones, they come in 3 sizes, so those will be back in as well, plus a couple other things. But those are the main ones I wanted to hit on. So that'll be Tuesday, so if you want to order any of that stuff, you can call us on Wednesday for that.
And I want to say thank you to the folks that have done the bidding. The Racing Homer bidding went pretty darn good, fast and furious. In fact, I got a call at 2 o'clock. The gentleman was very interested, and I just couldn't take the order because it has to be on Facebook. You can't order by telephone. And by the time he'd got his bid in, it was over. So we thank both of the folks who won the birds, so to speak. And I might mention the donors, for instance, the Racing Homers were from Tom Erdner, one of the top flyers. He's the one that gets the credit for the Legacy Fund Trust. The buyer gets the birds, which he's deservingly so, but it's the person who contributed the birds gets the credit for that the amount that's been. Because I always get confused. I shouldn't say always, but occasionally I get confused.
So yes, thank you for those who bid on the birds and who that's a big help to the MPA Legacy Fund Trust.
Yep.
We do appreciate it.
And I'll talk a little bit more about the trust as we go on.
Okay.
We'll see how much time we've got. We even have a question.
Comment. Richard from Oklahoma. Hi, Richard. It's okay if you're a Steelers fan. We know everybody is. TG
Everybody's
Simmons.
got a hope, and I think Oklahoma, I don't even think they qualify. They don't even have a pro team.
No, they don't.
Who is he to tell us he's not a Steelers fan when, geez.
And TG Simmons, Jerry, he's our man. If he can't do it, no one can. You're the man, Jerry. Yes, he is. He's the man. He is. He's awesome.
I'm a little grumpy today because I had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning. Spent 4 hours in the hospital. I had to take a stress test. I get on the treadmill, and I don't know whether the girl was new at it, but she says, now it's going to start slow. Lean forward and get your feet forward. I said, okay. She turned it full. I'm running like crazy, and she's trying to stop it.
Is that professional to talk
Oh,
about?
I just kept on going. Then she made some other mistakes, and then the doctor had to come in, and they had me running as fast as they expect me to, or faster than they expected to me. And he says, "Are you having any chest pains?" I said, "No." So it wasn't fun, but I got it out of the way. Go ahead.
But he's really frustrated because we started late, but
I hate
we can't help that. It happens. So, but we're here now, and here we are. So, also, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them. We'll answer them live. We usually get to all of them, and if we don't, then we'll contact you.
And it's so important that you send your questions in. It's what makes the show. When we first started this show, we're into our second year now. We used to get a lot of questions. Well, I don't think we get as many. Maybe we've answered every question there is. What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
So if you have a question, I've said it before, we're helping not only you, by you asking that question via Facebook, we're helping a lot of other people. Kim, do you want to be on the air today? No, my other daughter said no, she's leaving. Okay.
Jerry,
let's talk about pigeons. Or should I just admit that I made a big mistake?
And what?
I've been making it for years, and I had to email a veterinarian to get clarification, and then I had to email the customer to apologize.
On what?
Oh, you want me to? Well, that's just the fact that I brought it up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
One customer called me, and it was on a product from Veta Farm, and she said, Jerry, when you give Tony's Treasures tablet, she says it's a runt, and we all know a runter is a big bird. And she says, based on the fact that it's twice as big as a homer, what's the dosage? And I said, what I always say is that generally speaking, doesn't matter, because if it's a bigger bird, it drinks more water. You've heard me say that?
Mm-hmm.
And she's, well, I contacted the company that makes the product, and they disagree. So I said, well, I've been telling folks that for years. I said, let me contact my veterinarian friend and ask him. And guess what?
She was right.
She was right, and I had to apologize. I told her that from henceforth I will tell people based on the size. But I had one, you know what a caveat is?
Yes.
Okay. There was one caveat, because these were pills, and I didn't know whether you should double the dosage, but he said yes, double the dosage. Kim, we're on the air. I'm sorry, but we're trying to do a professional show, and you're hollering.
So, anyways, going back to the questions, please ask questions. I know you have a question, so if you have it, somebody else has the same question. So, just ask.
Okay. In talking about pigeons,
You cut me off.
I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to say
Go ahead.
something?
I'm done.
I just wanted to say, and I've told other customers, it's time to separate your bird. The molt is upon us. So you really, if it's at all possible, separate your hens and your cocks, and if you've still got young ones, segregate them. And if you don't have the room to do that, put the young ones with the hens, not with any aggressive males. It's so important that you segregate them, give them a rest. If you can't do that, start using wooden eggs so that they don't go through the process of trying to raise young while going through a molt. When you go through a molt, it's very stressful for these pigeons. My birds have started to molt already, so it's time. And talking about that, maybe we could talk about the roper bee.
Yes, we can.
Might be a good kind of, never thought of that sort of, there's a word for that. Segue.
Segue. So we had a customer come in today from West Virginia, Gypsy, West Virginia. His name was Mike Sadler. And he just put it right there.
I just spilled my water. Just leave it there, please.
Anyways,
Thank you.
he was talking about two products today. They're both Ropa products. One is the garlic powder, and one is the liquid 10%, which is oregano.
Is it?
Yes. You didn't know that?
Nope.
Put your hearing aid back in.
I'm sorry, folks. I'm having a frustrating day. That's my hearing aid. Go ahead and talk.
So anyways, he was saying that the garlic powder stimulates the molt, which it does, but he said the Ropa garlic powder works really well. He said he was going into his loft wondering why he had all these feathers. He had to sweep like 3 and 4 times a day. He said they went through the molt quicker than he's ever seen it.
Yeah, he said that if you use it, be prepared to see the feathers all over the floor a lot quicker than maybe you've ever seen them before. So this is the product, right? Can I show it?
You can.
It's called Ropa Bee Garlic Powder. It's 100% garlic, nothing else added to it. And it also has some benefits. Garlic is a natural antibiotic, but he said he just amazed. He was so happy to see that we now have the Ropa line. So if you're going or preparing to do anything, it's a good time to add before the molt and during the molt. Great product. He swore by it.
Yeah, and the garlic powder goes on the feed. They do also sell a liquid that goes in the water.
Yeah. And
it's a garlic solution.
The man is a well-known breeder from all over the United States. In fact, he won some money in a race in South Africa just recently, birds from his loft. So take the word of a fellow who's very excited and pleased with the product itself. Okay.
The other one was the 10%, the liquid 10%. He said it's very good for the immune system. He uses it while he's breeding and weaning his young.
And it's a vitamin B product. So when it says 10%, that means it's 10% vitamin B. Okay.
And this one, it comes in several different sizes. So we carry the 100 milliliter. And we'll possibly be carrying one of the other sizes as well. But if you want a different size, I can always get it for you. What else?
Oh, you've got a whole list of stuff there.
I do. But so I think we should go on to the adenovirus.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about it before, but we're going to talk about it again.
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Let me answer a couple questions first. TG, he said, do you recommend separating your prisoner breeding birds all in separate cages, or can I put them in all one cage along with breeding boxes? I have white homers.
Absolutely no reason to have breeding boxes, because the whole idea of what you're doing, hens are separated from the cocks, so maybe they're already in there. The main thing is, if at all possible, put your hens in one section, your cocks in another section, and it's great if you can have a solid wall between them so they can't see each other. The reason for that is there are times when you want to break up a mating, and if the birds haven't seen each other for a good while, it's going to be very easy to make new pairing. Now, this may not be as important to somebody who raises white homers because they're for weddings and funerals and celebrations and so forth. So the mating of two particular birds is not necessary. But in racing and in showing, it's very, very important. You can put them anywhere as long as there's enough room in there for those birds. So with me, I have two 8-foot sections. I put my cocks on one side, my hens on the other side, a solid wall in between. They can't see each other, and my birds are starting on the molt already. So I'm going to be taking some of the garlic powder home with me. And what I'm going to do is experiment. This guy was so excited about it, we couldn't stop him from talking. But I'm going to try it. What I'm going to do is put the cocks on the powder, on the garlic powder, and put the hens on nothing, or maybe a different boat product to see how it really does work. As you all know, I try almost everything we use. I can't use it all, but I try it, whether it's a medication, a supplement, or an item, an accessory like nest boxes or feeders or things like that.
Richard, yes, we do still have most 2019 bands. We are out of AU bands for the year, and we may be out of some of the MPAs. If you want to order some, just give us a call. Would you like to give our number out?
Yeah, but I would also mention, in building on what Gina said, is the racing homer bands we have right now are IF or NPA or IPB. Mm-hmm. But if you are a racing person, your choice should be the IF because that's a racing organization. And if you belong to a club, they would much rather see IF or AU bands on birds that are going to be raced. And the phone number at Foys is what you wanted to do? 724 843 6889. You can also email your order in, is that correct? And that's Foys Pet Supplies?
No, you can do it on a website or call. We have a question from Miguel. He's on his second half of the 5-day treatment with furaltidone, which was recommended. After this, you recommend wait 30 days and then vaccinate with the needle 2 times, or is it once? It's actually 2 times, but you have to do it once, and then you have to wait 3 to 4 weeks. I believe it is on the package. So if you've never vaccinated, then you do want to do it twice. It does say on the directions the time frame you wait after the first one. I don't remember exactly what it is. And then I do believe that the paratyphoid is every 6 months.
Yep, and the PMV
is once a year. Yeah.
What is missing from that question? Or what that,
what's missing from it?
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the
product used?
Probios?
Yes. Whenever you do 5 days, you've got to do 2 days of a good quality probiotic, something like Probios, but other companies, Rejuvenation. So you do it 5 days, 2 days of probiotic, 5 more days, and then 2 days of probiotics. And probiotics are something you should use year-round. So I tell people after you've done the program with furaltidone, then you should use the probiotics Monday, Wednesday, and Friday year-round. Now, if you're using an antibiotic or an acidic product, I think you should hold back. Don't put the probiotic in with that.
With it, correct. Okay, another question. The last 2 years at the end of winter, a few pigeons died. Like they are okay with their weight, but they died suddenly in yellow water from their mouth. Any solution?
It's almost certainly PMV virus. What tells me that is the fact that the yellow coming out of their mouth usually means a virus, and it's usually the PMV vaccine. It would be interesting to know whether you vaccinate or not. if I had to hazard a guess, I would think that that it is the PM, it is PMV, and I would probably guess you haven't vaccinated.
So if it is, what should he do?
Well, first of all, did he vaccinate? But if he hasn't vaccinated and it's the end of breeding season, it's a time that you should vaccinate. You can't medicate with the virus. But another solution might, if you can't or don't want to, you may want to try Nutridrops. But I think the best thing you could possibly do is vaccinate if you haven't.
Wilfredo asked what pigeon breeds are for sale today. Wilfredo, the auction is actually over, but it was Serbian high flyers, racing homers, and rollers. Yeah.
And we're going to have some great birds in for the next auction. I can't tell you exactly what they'll be, but if I had to guess, there's a gentleman. Did he come in? Somebody coming in with 6 birds today or tomorrow?
Yeah, today was supposed to be.
People are. I've said it before. A lot of people are aware of the auctions that are going on every 2 weeks, and I'm not kidding when I say we are offering top quality pigeons at. Some people have complained that $100 are too much. I'm telling you, these birds would not be sold by the breeder for $100 in almost all cases. In some cases, they don't sell their birds at all. In some cases, you're talking about hundreds of dollars. For instance, we sold a pair of Serbian high flyers. They were from one of the top breeders in the whole world, and he doesn't even sell his birds. I just friend with someone, Gramus, who did our show, has done our show to fill in with me or for me. But the only reason I got those high flyers was Gramus is a friend of his, and sent me a pair, and I think I'm going to get another pair eventually.
So, a comment from Tiffany. She said, on a side note, Jerry, you should add a warning to the Ultra Pro. Our birds are growing so fast that we have to band earlier than usual. I think we had 6 who were too big to band by day 5. Good stuff.
Good. I'll tell you what, Tiffany, one thing I would not be without in my pigeon loft is a can of WD-40. And when you think it's too tight, you'd be surprised. You spray the inside of the band with WD-40. It had a little tiny nozzle, makes it great. You spray inside the band, you spray the leg, the foot, and then try to get it on. You're going to need either paper towels or cloth because this stuff gets on your hands and it's so slippery. But I have got bands on birds that they didn't think it was possible. So WD-40 will be a big help to you. It'll give you another 2 or 3 days. Yeah. But I guess that's a compliment for the probiotics also. The probios, we all want our birds, we all want them to grow fast. That's the whole idea, because the faster they grow, the quicker they're going to be available to be used by you.
So what the Ultra Pro is, if you don't know, it's a vitamin and a probiotic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And it's, once again, it sounds like I'm trying to, well, I guess I am trying to sell. It isn't just any vitamin. It's a specially formulated, top quality vitamin that is added with a good quality probiotic. Makes a great product. And I think we're starting to sell more Ultra Pro than we are probiotics. It's great. So many questions coming in. I just love it.
Do you want me to continue with the questions?
Go ahead. Yep.
Okay. The gentleman we spoke to about the vaccination, he said he never vaccinated his pigeons before. Right now they're molting. Is it okay to vaccinate them, or should he wait till they molt completely?
I would wait for the molt to end. The molt is stressful, and vaccinating the birds are a certain amount of stress too, because you're handling them, you're sticking the needle in them. I would certainly wait until the molt is
Norm, he asked, can you give Coxy worm to birds feeding young, finishing up breeding season?
I would not. My thoughts are in that if you're breeding, the parents certainly are going to be giving the product to the young in the nest. And I'm not sure. What concerns me is the worms. If they do have worms during breeding season, they're going to excrete them. So that's good work, like poop them out. Excrete's a better word, isn't it? Don't you think?
Thank you.
Are there other better words than that?
No, that's good.
That's more than you want to know. Huh?
Yeah.
Anyway, and it goes in the nest or on the floor to be picked up again, possibly by the parents or the young again when they start to come out of the nest bowl into the nest box. So, unless you have a serious worm issue, I would not do
it. Okay, another. Okay, Joseph, he said a hawk took out his cock Birmingham roller that he purchased from you this year. Any mix up for sale? Any for sale?
Oh, I'm thinking.
Sale?
The reason I'm hesitating is I don't sell extra hens. Everybody has extra cocks, and I know, but extra. So I misread it, and I know what you're going to say. So the answer is yes. I'll sell you an extra cock. You just call me and let me know, possibly what color. Call my home, my home phone number to order the birds or discuss it is 724-359-5355. And I caution you, it is my home. I don't answer the phone after 5 o'clock. Believe me, I have people calling me 11:15. If not, that was the latest. So they call me 7:30, 8:30, 9:30. I have to, being an old man, I have to take a break sometime.
You're not old.
Well, I'm getting old. Thank you. But anyway, if you want to call me between 9 and 5. If I'm high on vitality and not marijuana, then I'll call you. If I'm on marijuana, I'll probably call you, but I'll probably give you some silly answers. So, what's the matter?
Nothing.
Well, I did take marijuana once. I didn't know about it, but I did. Somebody was giving me cookies at a party. Them cookies were good, but after 3 cookies, I was high as a kite. I'm sorry. Well, I'm human, And I did smoke marijuana after the night or the day I got married. Vicki and I were married, and my son said, "Hey, Pap," or no, "Hey, Dad, come on outside."
Anyways,
I'm sorry, but that didn't affect me at all. Okay, go ahead.
So,
it was your brother, by the way, that did it.
Well, if it was your son, clearly it was my brother. Anyways, back to calling Jerry at home. Remember that he is busy. He doesn't just sit at his desk all day answering the phones. He has pigeons to take care of. He does come down here and work sometimes. And this week was extremely busy for us. So he was here. Yeah. Yeah. So he was here a lot with us working, helping us out. So don't get upset if he don't call you back, but he will get back to you.
It's embarrassing. People are starting to complain because I'm not answering the phone. But like you said, there's just so much. Number one, we have this container coming in, so we have to move stuff around so we can unload a 40-foot container. I've had to ship pigeons. We had one girl, one girl on vacation, and one girl decided to leave our employment. She forgot to tell us on Friday, and we had nobody show up on Monday and Tuesday. So it was a difficult week. We did everything we possibly could. Lots of laughs and the cookies.
He said lots of laughs.
Well, Gina will tell you, I love to bake, and I'm always making cookies. Yes, maybe I'll send you some sugar cookie. Watch out for the sugar.
95% of the time they're good. Sometimes he forgets an ingredient or two.
But, I'm just experimenting with my cookies. Go ahead.
He does that a lot.
Isn't cookies something to do with computers now? Something about cookies? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But we had donuts today, and a customer brought in cookies, so they were delicious, by the way, Bill. Thank you. Where were we?
Talking about cookies.
No, we weren't.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know. Where were we, Veronica?
While you're trying to figure out what to say, I wanted to tell people, as you all know, I sell pigeons, and I wanted to let you know roughly what I have if you're thinking about ordering. When it comes to race quality birds, that's birds that come from racing lofts and from people who do very, very well. As I mentioned, one of my breeders won old bird overall. What's the word for it? He won. It'll come to me. Anyways, race quality young ones. I've got 16 left. That's it. I'm not breeding anymore. Colored homers. Those are average speed is what I was trying to think of. He won average speed, and that tells you he's not a flash in the pan. He won enough races to make him the best racer in the whole combine. I have some colored racing homers. Those are not race quality. They're good homers, healthy homers, and they'll come home from a long distance, but they're not raised for racing. They're raised because they're pretty. I also have a few young colored homers left. White breeders. I get a lot of calls for breeding white birds. I'm completely sold out. I'll probably have some in the spring. And on the young white homers, which most people want that are in the white homer business or release business, they want the young ones because they can train them to stay. So you can see I don't have a lot of birds. If you're thinking about it, certainly give me a call.
I know what we was talking about. You taking calls at home.
Okay.
So anyways, he does take calls at home from 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. Just keep in mind that that's not the only thing he does. So please have a little patience sometimes with him.
I spend time with my children and my grandchildren. I have 27 grandchildren. I have, I think, 17 great-grandchildren, and I have a swimming pool. And what the little kids want, they want to go to Pep-Ups and go swimming. So
and ride on the tractor.
And ride on my tractor. So I have to put a stop to it in the evening because I love flowers and I love kids. That's not a negative, by the way. We thank you so much, but you have to understand, and I'll stop talking about it. It is my house. I'm out taking the garbage out, or I'm delivering some stuff, and I'm a professional gopher now. Seeing that I've retired. Hey, Jerry, would you mind going for? Jerry, would you go over to the warehouse and see? And if we have them, would you bring them into the store? Well, Jerry, Health Tech calls, and they've got boxes there for you.
So he's a busy man.
Oh, we're going to talk about
if you call him once and you don't get him, and you cannot leave him a message, but please don't continue to call. He'll see your number and he will call you back.
Yeah, the record is I had one guy call me 9 times in one day. Like he calls and 20 minutes later he calls and 20 minutes later he calls again. You would think somewhere along the line he'd get the message I'm not home. But anyway.
Okay, so adenovirus.
Okay, what about it?
What about it? That's what they want to know.
What do they want to know about the adenovirus?
Whatever you can tell them.
Okay, well, the adenovirus is not new in the country. It's been around for a number of years. Its major symptom is quick death. You can handle the bird one day, he's perfectly healthy, nice body, and you come in the next morning, he's dead. I've shared this before. I had it once a number of years ago. I walked in and there was a bird on the perch, and I walked over and picked it up. It was dead on the perch. So that tells you how fast. There was no flopping or anything. It hit him, he's dead. It being a virus, there is no treatment, but we do have products that will help the birds through the adenovirus. One of them is Adeno Zap. It's a product that has been around for a good while, and people have had a lot of success with that. There's another product, and if you go to our website,
Adeno S.
Adeno S, is that what you
That's
said?
the name of yeah. Adeno S is another product that we carry. We haven't been carrying it very long, but
who's the manufacturer?
Pigeon Vitality.
Okay, comes out of Norway. And the other thing is, I have a friend, you may know about him. His name is Mike Owens. He owns Boxes for Birds, and he keeps an awful lot of pigeons. Well-known breeder as well as just nice people. Mike and his sweetheart Sherry have been in the business now for a good while. He had the adenovirus. Now, I preface it by telling you he has a lot of birds. He lost 900 pigeons to the adenovirus. Didn't know what to do, tried everything. Finally, he tried a product called NutriDrops. And you can read this story online. You look up NutriDrops. And the NutriDrops stopped it in its tracks. He was so excited, he called the company. He ordered the products by the case because he has so many birds. And I spoke to Mike about it before the show, and he wanted to mention that on occasion he also added an antibiotic with the, didn't matter which one, an antibiotic, and that kills secondary infections. So we have products not to treat it, you can't treat a virus, but you can help them through it, going after secondary infections, or the NutriDrops will stop it in its tracks. And I don't tell you it'll do it every time. It did it for him, and we've had other people tell us it's helped them.
A lot of people use it. It's a very, very popular product.
Okay. We have Mr. Keith Wilkinson. I think we know him.
Think so. Hi, Keith. Hope you're geared up for the Steelers game tonight. Got your terrible towel ready?
Isn't Baltimore getting a professional team soon? I've heard rumors that they're going to have a real
they might
football
be getting
team.
one.
Yeah.
So his comment is just wanted to give you all my greatest thank you for my gift and my order. Who knew Foys was into ornaments? You're the greatest ever. The side notes as well brought me the greatest joy. I just want everyone to know how loving and caring the Foys family is. I will be returning the love for sure.
We just don't return the products.
Keith had placed an order last week, and he's our biggest Steelers hater. So what I did was I sent him a Steelers ornament, Christmas ornament. Since I know he loves them so much. Yeah.
That's a nice touch. But all of you, as most of you know, we're a family company. And we talked about it before, but right now it's Vicki and me and Gina and
Kim.
And we have Sherry, who's been with us for 12 years, and I'm going to adopt her. And Veronica, I don't know what I could put up with Veronica that long. She has a fetish about wild animals. I don't know what it is. Raccoons and groundhogs and things like that. She's always talking about them. Do you have them as a pet, Veronica? No? Okay. Inside joke. Go ahead.
So, where were we? I hope you liked your ornament, Keith.
Let's talk about this. We have started to work on the 2020-21 catalog. It takes us the better part of a year to do it. It isn't like, well, let's order a new catalog. Over the year, we collect information, new products, questions, and we try to correct our mistakes because every catalog has mistakes. Why don't we have a contest on the 2020 catalog? Who can find the most mistakes? Because we put in these mistakes for some people because some people just like to complain.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. So rather than disappointing them because they can't find any errors in our catalog, we sprinkle a few right through that catalog. And when they call, we thank them don't we? And say, geez, thank you very much for pointing
We
it out.
do.
Okay. But what I wanted to do talking about the catalog is if you own a business, any kind of a business that's related to pigeons in supplying their needs, we would love for you to consider putting an ad in our catalog. If you want to sell your pigeons, for instance, and you have I sell pigeons, but believe me, if you want to sell your pigeons, you're more than welcome to send us the pictures and the information. So if you'd like to advertise in our catalog, we'd love to talk to you. You can call Gina or me or
Kim or Jerry.
Yeah, and then we'll give you the cost. But we mail out in excess of 10,000 catalogs. So if you'd like to get the word out, but the other thing is, almost everyone belongs to a pigeon club. In fact, in today's mail, I wanted to read this. Here's a letter from Curtis Holland. Here's a small. I'm sorry. This one. No, I wanted to talk about the LFT. I'm sorry. This is something that we get. People sent an ad in for the Iowa State Pigeon Club. So he sent $100. He told me that the club itself sends $100 every year. It's a real small club. So if you belong to a club, you want to get your club recognized. There might be people in your state that had no idea there was a club in the area. So maybe you want to put an ad in for your club. So anyways, it's a great way to advertise in the catalog.
Right. And we have a lot of people calling for particular breeds of pigeons, and I usually don't know who to refer them to, or if I can refer them to somebody, even if I know them. So that would be a good way to get your name out there if you do sell your birds, and if you want to sell more, then he said 10,000. We mail out over 15,000 catalogs over the 2-year period for each new catalog.
15,000 sounds like a lot, and a lot of people don't even realize or think there's 15,000 pigeon breeders.
Right.
But I'll tell you this, we're averaging over 60,000 people watching our show, at least stopping to look at something. 60,000 people. So if you want to advertise, and you can also advertise on Facebook, but we haven't worked that out yet. We're going to talk about it. Right?
Yeah, you can.
Okay. If for some reason you want to advertise in the catalog and Facebook, we'd be glad to put you on there. And if you have a question about the cost, you can contact Veronica. And she'll go over with you. If you need somebody to create an ad, we go from business size up to full page. Veronica has all the costs, and she can go over with you. And if she creates your ad, it's sent to you before we put it in, so that you agree that it's what you want.
Right.
But if you want the inside front cover, you can't have it. If you want, I mean, it's just amazing. People, year after year, all I do is call them and say we're creating a new catalog, and invariably they say, let's just do the same thing, but I'm going to correct some information and we'll send it to you. So we do, when you're the largest pigeon supplier in the country, and when you have the biggest catalog of anybody in the country, when you do a Facebook show, when you deal with friendly people, it all adds up. So if you put your ad in the catalog, I think you'll benefit from it.
Yeah. And our goal is always to have the new catalog by the end of the previous year. Depends on some people, though.
I was going to say,
how quick he is at working at it. But remember, I said he is busy, so the catalog is another one of his jobs. Between him, me, and Veronica, we collaborate together to get the catalog done in a timely manner.
I got a letter today from the National Pigeon Association. They're thanking me for paying my dues. So I'm a member for 2020. Are you? National Pigeon Association is a great group. Oh, pardon?
I said, are you?
Am I a member?
No, are you? Them.
Oh, are you a member? I'm sorry. See how we practice this show, and we never make a mistake, ever, except maybe starting on time. We started out with that, didn't we?
Yes.
If you have a question, have we got them?
Keith said, we won last night, 29-0. Can't wait to play the wonderful, loving Steelers. Michael, go Pittsburgh.
You probably played all your starters, and the other team was smart enough to play just their rookies and people trying to make it. I bet you anything you had all of your starters in there. Your turn, Keith. We're just keep sending it in. Go Pittsburgh, Mike says, huh?
Yep. Dave said, I ordered some meds Wednesday and they got here at 2:30 today. Thank you for the prompt service. That's another thing we try to do. If you order today, then we try, 9 times out of 10, we ship it on the same day. This week was a little rough because I'm not used to packing them big orders, and all week we've had big orders.
Yep. It's been crazy.
And it's been a rough week. Yeah. But usually if you order before 2 o'clock, we get it out. Usually if you order by 4, we try to get it out that day. 9 times out of 10 we do. So we pride ourselves in that. So if you place an order and you want it, depending where you live, you're going to get it quick. What's he doing? I hate when he leaves me here by myself. He throws me all off. Anyways, here he comes.
I'm back. In talking about big orders, I wanted to show you folks something. Can they see that pretty good? Like that? Okay. That's what floor covering looks like. We import this from Belgium. It's a clay product, and it also has an anti-coccidiosis product mixed in with it. Our sales have doubled on. We're getting people ordering it by the pallet, but coming with their pickup truck and taking 6, 8, 10 bags. We're shipping it. Some people are ordering 2 and 3 bags, and we're shipping it to them. 5.
I had a 5 this week.
You figure an order for 5 is 220 pounds or something like total. 220 pounds. I use it. I'm in the process of doing that. I told you I was segregating my birds. What I did is they were all in one section. So I had another section that needed to be cleaned. I clean my lofts every 6 months. Sometimes, no, not 6 months. But I clean that one too. I said 6 months, but if you read the bottle, read the bag, it tells you if you clean the floor covering out once a week with a rake, you rake it and you pick up the droppings, it's okay for a whole year. So if you are interested in cutting down on your work, as I told you, at one time I had 13 sections. That's a lot of pooping and a lot of poop cleaning. So now, 6, 7 months for sure, I'm working now on cleaning all of my lofts and putting new floor covering down. So if you want a good product, number 1, it controls odor. Number 2, it absorbs moisture. So if you spill your water, it's no big deal. It's going to suck it right up. It's anti-coccidiosis, keeps your birds' feet clean. A lot of reasons to use it. And I know it's a 44-pound bag. And I get a lot of calls asking me, how much do I need? Roughly an 8 by 8 section will take 3 bags. You'll make it about 1 to 3 inches deep. You'll love it. You'll wonder, why the heck didn't I do this a long time ago? Great product.
Floor covering is one of the things that we take to shows a lot for customers, so they don't have to pay for shipping.
I gotta dump this.
Okay, and then on that note, Norm asked, are you guys going to be in Des Moines show for us guys who have to pay a fortune in shipping? Unfortunately, Norm, we won't be in Des Moines this year, but we may do a shipping special. So I wrote that down. I'll make a note. If you want to call me next week, I can give you, let you know on that.
And if you look in our catalog, I appreciate it. The Des Moines Club advertises in our catalog with the dates of their shows and so forth. It's a good organization. It's a 14-hour drive for us, um, and if you have to take 4 people, you need at least 2, sometimes 3 rooms, feeding those people. So it's a large expense. And one time we ran into a terrible storm, ice storm, so we had to weigh all of that. And they invited us, but we just couldn't do it.
So if you give us a call next week, Norm asked for myself, Gina, or Kim, and then we'll let you know. I believe last year we did a special on shipping for people for the Des Moines show, but give us a call and we'll let you know about that. But about other shows, Fremont, as we said, will be in September. So if you want to pre-order for that, you can do that now. And then the Young Bird Show in Louisville will be in October, and you can start placing orders beginning of October.
People take advantage of this. You should think about this too. The biggest sellers when we go there are something like grit, floor covering. They'd buy cases of pick pots and pick stones, stuff that's really heavy. Now they're ordering lighter weight stuff, but the people taking advantage, you can save yourself a lot of money. I'm sure, I don't know what it costs to ship, depending on where you live, one bag. So if we bring 8 or 10, or the other thing is if you have friends in your area, you might bunch for your club and your friends, and we'll bring it with us. If we have to hire another truck, we'll just get a bigger truck.
We'll see. We do cut off pre-orders as it gets closer to the show because we fill up pretty quick. Along with, we do take product to the show, but we also are now getting a lot more pre-orders. So sometimes the week before we cut it off. So if you know you want something, try to order it a few weeks out.
So and people are disappointed. They can't believe that we can't get anything else on. But if you're there when we get there and we open the door, we have to be very careful because the stuff is stuffed all the way to the ceiling, and it's full, and we can't get another thing in it. And we've done everything we can, but sometimes they want it and they get so disappointed. But we do have a cutoff.
Right.
Let's talk about Louisville show. We should give those folks that run the show credit. We've been going there for years and years, and it's a great show. It's not the NPA Grand National Young Bird Show. It's an independent organization that puts this show on. I don't know what the count is, but you can be sure to be at least 3,000 birds there, probably close to 4,000. I invite you to go. We'll be there, but we won't be the only people there. People who sell feed, people who sell other items that relate to pigeons are going to be there. They have a for sale section. So if you're looking for some particular birds, there's a huge for sale section, and there's so many different breeds. The National Dove Association is there with their young bird show. So Louisville's easy to get to. If you don't know the phone number, it's in the NPA Quarterly. I think it's in Purebred. But if you need the information, you give us a call, and we'll tell you where it is. If you're going to go, there's a lot of good hotels around there, a lot of good restaurants, but they'll give you some information on the hotels too.
And it's the last weekend in October.
Okay.
One other thing I was going to say about the show is that we do take a lot of product. If you see our setup, it is a lot of product, but we cannot bring everything we have. A lot of people are upset that we don't have this or don't have that, but keep in mind that we bring what we think people will want. We can't always bring everything or what everybody's going to want because you don't know. We try to go from year to year what people ask for and what we sold the most of. So if there's something particular that you want, call us ahead of time. We can tell you if we're bringing it, and if we're not, then you can pre-order it and we'll have it there for you.
I had 2 customers come in. We had 2 customers came in today. One was Nate Lex, and the other one was a gentleman from West Virginia. What was his name? But anyway,
Michael.
It was interesting. I didn't bring up the subject in either case, but they both, and they weren't here together, they both said, you know, the reason we win and we do well, we think, is because all the other people are over medicating. Medicate. They put in medicine before the race season, during the race season, after the race season, during bleeding season, antibiotic after antibiotic. Eventually, they're doing more harm than good. I talked to Nate, and he's a top flyer. Both him and his father, Nate's fourth generation, they do very, very well. He said, Jerry, I used in the year 2019 so far, I used one antibiotic. And he says it was a respiratory issue, and before a race, and I got rid of it. He says, I do my best to stay away from antibiotics. And I know he does because he doesn't buy any from us. So,
Mike said the same thing.
yeah, Mike, was his name Mike?
Mike, yeah.
Mike said exactly the same thing. Two people, two different times. He sells birds over the country. He ships birds overseas. He's won at the big $1 million race over in South Africa. Now, top prize, but you're talking about thousands of pigeons. He said the same thing. He talked about the Roper products. He talked about apple cider vinegar, things like that. No medications at all. So if you want, it's gonna take a year or two for you to, what's the word when somebody's drinking or on drugs, they have to detox. You've got to detox your bird, but go the natural way as best you possibly can. Canker, coccidiosis, and worms are not antibiotics, so that's okay. But he doesn't even do that.
Mike does.
Pardon?
Mike does.
Mike does, and Nate doesn't. I don't treat for canker. I haven't seen it since I've had pigeons, I don't think. I'm here, so go natural as best you can. And these companies are developing new products, and they're recognizing, just like we humans are trying to go much more natural, the pigeon hobby should be going that way, as is the chicken hobby. So read the catalog. There's some great products in there. Going natural, to me, you're going to see in the future much, much more. And the other thing is, there's going to come a time when we won't be able to sell antibiotics. It's coming. Right now, most antibiotics need to be prescribed by a veterinarian. We're fortunate we haven't got to that point yet, but it'll come. So maybe you should be ahead of the curve and consider doing away with those antibiotics. And I sell them, right? It's the biggest item, category of product we sell. The biggest one is antibiotics. And I'm telling you, don't buy them. But it's what's right. Norm is. No, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say Norm is. Go ahead.
I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Norm said he uses Ultra Pro every day. Is that too often?
No, it doesn't have to be every day. I think you get the same benefit. But I'm thinking as we talk, I don't think the probiotics and the vitamins stay in the bird system much more than a day. So every other day they're getting it, but I see no reason why you couldn't do it every day, because it doesn't take a lot to a gallon, and I think long term you'll see some benefits. And if you've got the time, try on one loft every day and one loft every other day. Give it 6 months to a year. See if it makes any difference at all. And if it does make a difference, please contact us. We learn so much from our customers, and we add new products because of our customers telling us how happy they were to get them.
I remember what I was going to say now. We was talking about the all-natural products, and we do have several lines that are just natural products. Hilton Herbs is one. Ropa is another one. Natural.
What about the company? Pro Vital? Not Pro Vital, the one over in Norway?
Pigeon Vitality.
Even their canker products and parasite products are all natural.
Yeah.
So the world is going that way.
Yeah, we do have a lot of natural products. So if you have any questions, just give us a call, and we can recommend those to you. The other thing I wanted to bring up, we didn't have One Drop One Eye one time for quite a while, but it is back in stock. We do have it for the time being. So if you was looking for that, if you want it, give us a call.
I wanted to mention, last week, one of the homers I had, look, if you've been around pigeons long enough, you know something's wrong. So I went over and picked up the bird, and it was a bird that I had sold, was going to ship out on Tuesday, and I called the customer and said, this bird is something wrong with its eye, and I don't want to send it. So it had a mycoplasmosis, which is watery eyeball, water around the eye, and you'll see them rubbing it on their wing, and the wing will look all wet. I'll be darned. I went and got some Spiridox tablets. Now I think it's a 5 or 7 day treatment. I gave it to him one day. Next day it was gone. So that's something to keep in mind too. One-eyed coals are family, just like everything else. Sometimes it's just something in their eye. It's an infection. It isn't always the same disease, but in this particular case, it was the right product to use. And people swear by the One Drop One Eye one time too, but we didn't have it. I tried that and it worked.
Shelley asked about apple cider vinegar. How is that used?
Well, there's a natural product, been around for a long time. In fact, I was on the radio for many years, and we ran a show on natural products. And apple cider vinegar comes, her name was Mrs. Bragg, Bragg, from California. We didn't even know it. This was almost 20 years ago. We were cutting edge recommending, and I had the person who manufactures apple cider vinegar on our show many times for humans. Now we're getting more and more people ordering apple cider vinegar. And what it does is it creates an acidic environment in the drinking water. And most bacteria, especially paratyphoid salmonella, cannot thrive through the drinking water when you have apple cider vinegar. Make sure it's apple cider. If at all possible, make sure it's Bragg's, because it's so popular now, like everything else. Other companies are jumping on the bandwagon, but Bragg's apple cider vinegar has been around for years and years and years. I can't always explain it correctly. Apple cider vinegar can, in olden days, I'm saying in the Western years, the 1800s, when they moved from the East Coast and go into the West, Midwest, they carried the apple cider vinegar with them. And the reason they did, it has the mother in it. The mother, if you buy an apple cider vinegar product, you'll look at the bottom and you shake it, and all this crud is going through the bottle, and you say, what the heck is that? That's the mother. And what they're able to do when they got low on apple cider vinegar, they had the mother and they had the apples. They created the apple cider vinegar with the very apple cider vinegar, what's the word I'm trying to find? The mother in it. It was the same thing. And they could do that and have done it for hundreds of years. Goes way back. The mother is transferred to a new batch of apple cider. So use it if you have it.
Yusuf asked, how often can we give cod liver oil? What is the dosage?
Do we have it in the camera? You look up the dosage?
I did.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Mike said that's what he puts on his feed with the garlic powder from Ropa when he gives the garlic powder. But the cod liver oil has vitamins A and D in it. It's a 1/4 teaspoon per pound.
Mm-hmm. I want to caution you though, cod liver oil or almost any oil cannot be used long term, or don't overuse it. If it says 1/4 teaspoon, don't think a half or a full teaspoon is better. It's not. And if you overuse it, what you're going to see is splotches or places on the bird's feather that are going to look oily. It's because the bird's body can't take that much oil, and it starts to come through the feather. And if you're a racing person or a show person, you won't be able to show with that bird. So follow the directions and stuff. I wouldn't use it every day. I would use it on occasion, maybe every other day or every third day, but don't put it on the field every day. My golly, this is the longest we've gone, isn't it?
No, because we started late.
Oh, well, I'm just saying, late. Vicky
Seems
went home and
long.
I have a date right after, so I told her I'd be there by 4:30. I don't think I'm going to make it.
She's still in there.
Oh, Vicky's still here?
Yeah,
Oh,
she
okay. I
is.
shouldn't have said that, huh? I remind you, we have an auction next week, too. Thank you for those people, 2 weeks. I'm going to have some great pigeons. I want you to keep in mind, when you buy birds, you're helping the hobby. And you should give back. It's always been taught, give back when it's all possible. If you've had a good life or a healthy life, give back. Well, you must love pigeons or you wouldn't have them. So why not give back? So by buying these birds, we invest that money, and if there's a need for in the pigeon hobby, whatever the need is, you can fill out a form and send it in and make a request. It has to be detailed in that what are you going to do with the money and those kind of things. But if it's approved, we write a check. The checks are from you buying those birds, us investing the money. So you're helping out the hobby. The other thing I wanted to mention, I've talked about it before, because heck, I'm almost 80 years old. I realize something's going to happen eventually. Kids don't like me talking about it, but it's so true. If you have a will, put it in your will how your birds are to be dispersed. Because if you're gone, your kids or your wife may have absolutely no idea what to do with them. And what they end up doing sometimes is giving them away or taking them to a bird auction. We have one not far from here. The birds go for $2 a piece, and they're buying them to eat them, or they're buying them at $2 a piece. And these birds might be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars. So if you don't put it in your will, tell your family, not just your wife, tell your family what you would like done. I've done it. We have a fellow, he was in today, Bill Barsick. I had a talk with Bill. I said, Bill, if something happens to me, I've told my wife, Vicky, that I would like you to come and take my birds, because he's not going to take them to the auction. He's not going to kill them. He's not going to, because some widows open up the doors and let all the birds fly, and they don't know what to do. So plan your future. If you're getting older or whatever, we never know if you're younger, make sure there's some sort of plan. You plan financially, you plan a lot of things in your life. It's going to happen. It's going to happen to a lot of us. When you're gone, the family should know what to do. Well, we are all over the place this summer, weren't we?
Yes, we was.
We talked. What did we talk about?
I got something to say on the auction.
Oh, okay.
If you're gonna bid, please have good intentions on bidding. Some people bid and take it down, and then they mess people up who wanted to bid, and they mess us up. And remember, we get nothing from doing this. We get nothing from doing this show. We get nothing from doing the auctions. It's all for you. So if you place a bid, please intend on paying for them birds that you say you want to buy. And if you place a bid, please don't take it down unless
it's hard to understand why they do it.
Yeah.
She was telling me, Veronica was telling me today that somebody had bid on the birds, and they were the high bidder, and we were getting close to the end, and all of a sudden the bid disappeared.
Right.
Well, that prevented people from bidding because he was the high bidder, and they didn't want to go that high.
Right.
So if we've talked to you about it before,
Yeah.
do what you can, and if you're serious, don't pull your bid, or don't bid at all if you're not really serious.
And we do get people who win and don't call us.
Yeah.
So please, if you bid, please intend on calling and paying. Thank you.
Don't misunderstand. We're not complaining. We really do appreciate the bids. We raise not all of it, but I'll bet you just this year, because of folks like you, we probably raised close to $8,000. All of that is invested. It all goes back into the hobby. We don't preach that you should do it. We'd like to think that if we're doing it, we shouldn't feel guilty about asking you to help us. So if you want to donate birds, we'd love to have them. You call my home, tell me what you got, and we only want quality birds, whether they're pairs or young ones. So if you want to help us out, we'd love to get some different breeds. We try to get different breeds all the time. We can't always get pedigree. If you have racing homers, love to see them. If you have fancy birds, we've never had runs. I mean, we can go right down the list. We'd like some different birds, some different breeds. So give it some thought. Maybe you want to donate. Every dollar that is earned, you get to be listed in the NPA quarterly forever. Once the bid is $100 or more, your name is in the NPA quarterly magazine. It's called the Honor Roll, and your name will be there forever. Gina, you don't do that on TV.
How am I supposed to stop a yawn? Anyways.
Anyway, is it time to say goodbye?
It is time to say goodbye.
For a while.
So the next show is supposed to be August 23rd, but as he said, he's not going to be here.
Well, I have an idea. We'll post it.
So we'll let you know.
Yeah. Thank you very much for
But
watching.
we will have the auction regardless in 2 weeks. So pay attention for that. Until the next show.
See ya.
Have
My
a great
name
weekend.
is Jerry.
Go Steelers. Gina.
That's Gina. Go Steelers. And we're not going to play our first team like they did in Baltimore.